Good morning, my dear friends. How are you today? Let the Lord offer you His wonderful blessings to fill your heart with true joy and peace. The church celebrates the triumph of the cross. It may sound very odd when we say the triumph of the cross. Cross had been a sign of death for those days, historically speaking, but we all know that by his death on the cross, he converted a sign of death to a sign of victory and life. There is a history behind the real cross of Christ was lost. The cross on which Christ was crucified was lost, and then St. Helena restored it and brought it to Jerusalem, and it was on Mount Calvary, and it was again taken away by the Persian king, and it was again restored by King Heraclius, who brought it back to Jerusalem in 629, in the 7th century. When he entered Jerusalem, he literally carried the cross on his shoulders, but he was clothed himself in rich garments and ornaments. As he was getting close to Mount Calvary, however hard he tried, he could not take one more step going into Calvary. And then the Bishop of Jerusalem, Zechariah, said to him, "King, do you really represent the Jesus who carried the cross in your expensive and rich garments?" Then he put on the clothes of real penance and the garbs of repentance, and then he carried the cross to Mount Calvary. That's an interesting story. But as we celebrate this feast, I want to bring 3 spiritual insights to share with you about the meaning of the cross. First, cross remained in history as a sign of death sentence for criminals. So, cross was a weapon to murder or execute criminals only through Christ. A weapon of murder, a weapon of death, is transformed and converted to a weapon of life. So, suffering can be transformed as a weapon of pain and desolation and distress to be transformed with Christ, and through Him we can transform suffering into a means of redemption and new life. Second, the moment we walk through our crosses, carrying the crosses, it looks like so tough, unsurmountable, impossible to deal with. But the presence of Christ makes a difference. If you know how to work with Jesus and work with God's will, certainly He is offering you the courage and strength to walk through that moment with greater strength, with greater power. Third, every time when we come across sufferings and pains of life, let us always keep them as source of true redemption. That means when we really struggle with certain things, let us not be stuck with that. Let us not really dwell in the suffering. Let us look up to something, as Jesus was looking from the cross to the Father, and tell him, you are there to comfort me. You are there to relieve me from this pain. You are there to take away all that I am enduring right now. So lift your eyes and look up to God instead of dwelling in the pain and thinking about it and struggling more and more with it. That is the third thing we need to have in our mind when we walk through crosses. Cross can always be a sign of hope and life, provided how we take the cross in our life. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.